Have you ever made a decision not with your heart, but with your hurt? I have. A year ago, I stood in a simple white dress and married a good, kind man named Leo. I promised to love and cherish him for the rest of my life. But it was a lie. A quiet, desperate lie I told not just to him, but to myself. Because the truth is, I didn't marry him because I loved him. I married him because I was running away from a broken heart and I thought his kindness could be my cure. I was wrong. And now I'm trapped in a marriage where he gives me everything. And I can give him nothing in return. My name is Emma. And this is the story of the biggest mistake of my life. And the impossible choice I have to make between a good man's happiness and my own. My life, from the outside, looks perfect. I'm 28. I live in a lovely, quiet neighborhood in Chicago, and I have a job I enjoy at a local bookstore. And I have Leo. He is, by all accounts, the perfect husband. He's gentle and patient, and he loves me with a fierce, unwavering devotion that I feel every single day. He brings me flowers. He leaves sweet little notes in my lunch bag. He calls me his sunshine. He is a good man, and I'm a terrible wife. Because I don't love him. A little over a year ago, my heart was shattered. A man I had loved deeply, a man named Alex, had left me, and the pain was a raw, gaping wound. I was lost and lonely and so incredibly sad. And then Leo came into my life. He was everything Alex wasn't. He was calm and steady and kind. He listened to my pain and he didn't try to fix it. He just stayed. When he asked me to marry him, a part of me knew it was too soon, that it was wrong. But another, more broken part of me whispered, maybe this is how you heal. Maybe his love can fix you. So I said yes. I walked into our marriage with a heart full of hope, not the hope of a woman in love, but the hope of a patient waiting for a cure. My mother told me that love can grow, that marriage is about kindness and respect. I clung to those words. I tried so hard. I told myself that if I just went through the motions, if I was a good wife, then one day I would wake up and the love would just be there, but it never came. And now every day is a performance. I smile when he tells a joke, but I feel nothing. I say, thank you for the flowers, but my heart feels empty. He is the kindest, most attentive husband, and his love for me is a constant, gentle pressure that is slowly, quietly crushing me. One night, we were sitting on our balcony. The city was glittering below us, and the air was warm. He turned to me, his eyes so full of a sincere, hopeful love, and he said, Emma, I know you don't love me yet, but I'll wait. My love is strong enough for both of us. And I just wanted to scream. I wanted to sob and tell him, don't wait for me. I'm not worth it. My heart is a desert, and nothing is ever going to grow here for you. But I couldn't. How do you say that to someone so good? So I just nodded, and a single silent tear rolled down my cheek in the dark. He tries so hard to make me happy, and every attempt is like another turn of the knife in my own guilt. One night, he made me a beautiful, romantic dinner. He cooked my favorite pasta, he lit candles, he played the soft music I love. He looked at me across the table and said, this is for you, Emma. You're my everything. And I just sat there, a hollow ache in my chest, forcing myself to take bites of food that tasted like ashes in my mouth. I felt like an actress in a play about a happy marriage, a play where I had forgotten all my lines. After dinner, he took me for a walk to the park, to the very spot where he had proposed. Remember this place? He whispered, squeezing my hand. I told you I'd love you forever. And all I could think was, I am a liar. I am a fraud. I am breaking this good man's heart every single day that I stay. My best friend, Nana, is the only one who knows the truth. I called her, my voice a choked whisper, and I told her everything. I'm trapped, Nina, I cried. I feel like I'm drowning. She listened and then she said, maybe you need some space. Emma, maybe you need to be alone to figure out what your heart really wants. But I knew. My heart didn't need time. It was already decided. It just didn't belong to Leo. The guilt is a constant, heavy companion. He is so clueless, so wrapped up in his own pure love for me, that he doesn't see the truth that is so plain on my face. One night, he even asked me, his voice full of a hopeful, gentle excitement, Emma, have you ever thought about us having a baby? I think it would bring us even closer. I froze. The thought of bringing a child into this lie, into this loveless performance, was horrifying. I just looked down at my hands and mumbled, I'm not ready, Leo. I saw the flicker of hurt in his eyes before he quickly covered it with a smile. Okay, he said, whenever you're ready. And that's the worst part. He is always so kind, so understanding. He never pushes. He never gets angry. And his unwavering goodness just makes my own deception feel 1,000 times more monstrous. One night, I actually packed a bag. I stood by our bed watching him sleep, his face so peaceful, so innocent, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't be the person to cause him that much pain. I sank to the floor and cried, silently, so I wouldn't wake him. The next morning, he brought me coffee in bed, kissed my cheek, and said, Good morning, my love. I believe in us. And his words, meant to be a comfort, felt like a prison sentence. How do you tell the kindest person you know that your entire life together has been a lie? How do you break a heart that has only ever shown you love? I didn't know what to do. I just knew that I couldn't keep living like this, a ghost in my own life, haunted by a truth I was too cowardly to speak. The days after that became a blur of quiet internal struggle. Every act of kindness from him felt like another stone added to the heavy bag I was carrying on my back. I started to feel like I was two different people, the smiling, polite Emma that the world saw, and the screaming, trapped Emma that lived inside my head. My friend Nina called me again. You have to tell him, Emma, she said, her voice firm but kind. This isn't fair to him either. He deserves a love that is real. And you deserve to be free. I knew she was right. I spent a whole week trying to find the words, trying to find the courage. I wrote letters and then tore them up. I rehearsed speeches in my head that I knew I would never be able to say out loud. The moment finally came on a quiet Tuesday evening. We were just sitting in the living room. The silence was comfortable for him, but for me, it was deafening. I just couldn't take it anymore. I took a deep, shaky breath. Leo, I began. I need to tell you something. He looked up from his book, a gentle, patient smile on his face. Okay, and the words, the awful, terrible, honest words, just came tumbling out. I don't love you, Leo, I whispered, the confession feeling like a physical weight being lifted off my chest. I never have. I married you because I was heartbroken and I was stupid and I thought I could learn to love you, but I can't, and I'm so sorry. He just sat there. He didn't move. He didn't speak. The kind, gentle smile slowly faded from his face, replaced by an expression of such profound, quiet shock and pain that it will be seared into my memory forever. After a long, agonizing silence, he finally spoke, his voice a hoarse whisper. I knew, he said. I think I always knew. I hoped I was wrong. And then he started to cry. Not loud, angry sobs, but quiet, heartbreaking tears that just rolled down his face. In that moment, I had never hated myself more. I had broken the kindest heart I had ever known. We talked for hours that night. There was no shouting, no blaming, just a deep, shared sadness. He was still so kind, so understanding, even in his own immense pain. I don't regret loving you, Emma, he told me. Even if you couldn't love me back, that night I slept on the couch. The next morning, I packed my things. He helped me carry my bags to the door. "Take care of yourself, Emma," he said, his eyes red but his voice steady. And then I left. I walked away from the good man, the perfect husband, the beautiful life that was never really mine. I'm staying with Nina for now. The guilt is immense, but underneath it, for the first time in a year, I can breathe. The performance is over. The lie is over. I made a terrible mistake and I hurt a wonderful person, but I finally told the truth. And in that painful, devastating honesty, I have taken the first small step toward finding myself again. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for the pain I caused him, but I know that staying, that continuing to live that lie, would have been a cruelty to us both. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do is walk away.